From behind prison walls, there are countless cries of innocence. I didn't do the crime. Well, tonight, a months-long 24-hour News 8 investigation looks into just one of the many claims out there. Those who know and believe in our judicial system say, in some cases, no matter how many facts point to innocence, convictions are pretty much chiseled in stone. Tough to overturn. And here's 24-hour News 8's Brad Edwards.
You're a little nervous about today?
Yeah. He's like a new kid, but he's screaming for help.
This is a story of Ronnie's lie.
Next thing I know, I was in court testifying for something I had lied about.
And his grandma, who knew he was lying.
From day one.
Was it done to you?
No. Grandma, she never touched me. When that verdict come down, I just about fell out. Actually, not angry, I'm more like furious about it.
You've tried to kill yourself?
Yes. It's hard.
There's hope, because I'm innocent.
She was a good mom.
And Lorinda Swain is serving time for criminal sexual conduct.
I've been here wrongfully, and I'm worried that I'm not going to get justice.
She was sentenced to up to 50 years in 2002, but is she guilty? This is her alleged victim, her now 18-year-old adoptive son, Ronnie. Years back, he was abusing drugs, watching porn, and in trouble.
I did something sexual to my niece. I touched her private parts.
Trying to save his own skin.
You were thinking of an excuse.
Yes.
And you said Lorinda raped me.
Yeah.
And that never happened.
No.
And you knew it was a lie.
Yeah.
It was his word versus hers in court. Ronnie was wishy-washy on the stand, at one time falling silent when questioned about his honesty. Nonetheless, a jury found Lorinda guilty. 5 years later, the appeals process nearly exhausted, and questions still remain. Jail inmate Deborah Charles testified. Charles has 12 aliases, 24 felony convictions, and tried to testify in too many cases, says the state investigator, including the John Benet Ramsey case. The investigator said Charles is, quote, never to be trusted, yet she reportedly delivered compelling testimony against Lorinda. Since the guilty verdict, Lorinda passed a lie detector test proclaiming her innocence. Ronnie passed a lie detector test verifying he lied. Dr. Stephen Miller, who consulted the defense during the trial and has evaluated more than 3,000 sex crime cases, told us, quote, I have no doubt whatsoever that she is innocent.
Did this case ring a bell?
I was familiar with the name.
Calhoun County Prosecutor John Hallisey's office handled the case.
Do you think she's guilty?
I think she is.
And that verdict was upheld on appeal.
People oftentimes think, well, prosecutors are just looking for a conviction. That's not the case. We want to do the right thing, and that's why I'm here talking to you today. And if there's materials you want me to look at, we'd take a look at.
We did outline our findings. One key, he adds, is about Ronnie. The jury saw Ronnie switch his story on the stand, hem and haw, if you will, and still pronounced Lorinda guilty.
Your level of certainty that she should not be in prison is what?
About 100%.
Patrick O'Connell is handling Lorinda's appeal.
What are the odds of her ever being freed?
The odds aren't good.
I just recognize that sometimes cases get messed up.
Former U.S. Attorney John Smytenka had a similar battle.
It's a process which has taken, well, 8 years.
His client, Larry Suter, was convicted of killing a woman in 1991. Evidence eventually revealed the woman actually died after getting hit in the head by a passing motorhome. Larry Suter had nothing to do with it, yet.
Did you consider yourself lucky that you got someone to listen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very lucky that we got someone to listen.
Could he still be in prison today?
He could still be in prison today if someone didn't listen. The problem is that there is such a volume of cases.
So many, he says, are guilty, though some are not. Hard numbers are hard to find, but Illinois did away with the death penalty because of questions over guilt, and to date, 18 death row inmates have been cleared, freed via DNA.
They were on death row. They could have been killed.
Again, he says he knew his client was innocent but needed someone in the appeals process to listen. That's where this case stands.
So what do you do?
I look her straight in her eyes, tell her that I'm sorry.
There's been times when I've felt hate in my heart throughout the 5 years. But I forgive him, and I love him no matter what.
I never meant for it to happen like this. He thought that Grandma could fix everything, but Grandma couldn't. You figure 4 years later, and he still says, Grandma, I need help. What can I do? Nobody will listen to him.
One of Lorinda Swain's final shot appeals is here, Federal District Court. A writ of habeas corpus claiming she was wrongly convicted and that state courts should have taken a second look. She says her only shot at freedom is if someone listens. In Grand Rapids, Brad Edwards, 24-Hour News 8.
For more information on this story, including further insight into why Ronnie says he did what he did, log on to our website, woodtv.com.